You have $650 million and nobody knows. Not your neighbors, not your friends, not the guy at the diner who's been making your coffee for 6 years and knows you take it black. You're not hiding. You're just ordinary on purpose. While everyone else is out here chasing the thing that looks like wealth, you quietly became it. And the most unsettling part, the number arrived in a boring email. Subject line: Q3 portfolio summary. No exclamation mark, no champagne, just you standing in a hardware store deciding on a half-inch plumbing fitting. This is what $650 million actually looks like. It starts with a vending machine in a hospital break room. Not a revelation, not a business plan, just a Tuesday afternoon, somewhere between your shift ending and the parking garage elevator, when you notice the machine is out of water and the one next to it is jammed. And instead of being annoyed, you stop. You look at it differently. You think, who actually owns this thing? You go home and you find out. It takes about 40 minutes of searching, which is 40 minutes longer than most people would bother. What you find is a name, a small operator, a guy running maybe a dozen machines across 3 buildings, pulling in somewhere between $40 and $120 a month per machine after product cost and location fees. Not glamorous, not even interesting really. Just a number sitting there on the screen while the rest of the apartment is quiet. But you do the math, and the math does something to you. Because if one machine in a decent location clears $80 a month net, and you could place 5 machines, that's $400. 10 machines are $800. 25 machines, run tight, right locations. You're looking at somewhere between $1,200 and $3,000 a month coming in whether you show up or not. The money isn't the point yet. What gets you is its architecture. The fact that the machine doesn't need you. It just sits there in a hallway, solving a small problem for a rotating cast of strangers, and it pays you every single time. You spend $900 on your first machine. Used, a little beat up on one side, you place it in the lobby of a mid-sized dental office in exchange for a percentage of revenue and a handshake agreement. The first month, it clears $280 gross. After product, after the location cut, after driving out there twice to restock, you net $190. $190. Your coworker made more than that last weekend doing 1 shift of overtime. Your cousin just got a signing bonus that would cover this machine's earnings for the next 4 years. Nobody congratulates you. Nobody even knows. You sit with the number on a Thursday night and feel something that isn't quite pride and isn't quite disappointment. It's something quieter than both. But you don't quit, because you're not looking at the $190. You're looking at what the $190 proves. It proves the architecture works. So you place a second machine, then a third. You start watching commercial laundromats the same way you watch the vending machine. Not as a customer, but as someone trying to understand the ownership layer underneath. You find out a small coin laundromat, the kind with 15 machines in a strip mall off a state route, can generate anywhere from $60,000 to over $200,000 a year in revenue. You find out that the ones that fail usually fail for operational reasons, not market reasons. People always need to wash their clothes. That need doesn't go away in a recession. It doesn't go away when the stock market drops 18% in a quarter. It just keeps going, load after load, quarter after quarter. You buy your first laundromat for $47,000. It's in a working-class neighborhood in Ohio. The machines are older but functional. The lease has 6 years left on it. The previous owner, a retired postal worker named Dale, ran it out of a flip phone and a spiral notebook. The books are a mess, but underneath the mess, the cash flow is real. The first year, it nets $38,000. You don't celebrate. You use it as a down payment on the next one. This is the part nobody sees. Not the scaling, not the portfolio, not the compound effect of 8 years of quiet decisions. Just a person doing math at a kitchen table at midnight. Just a Tuesday observation that turned into a Wednesday question, that turned into a Thursday purchase, that turned into something nobody has a word for yet. The number didn't matter. The architecture did. Your accountant's name is Karen. She has been doing books for small business owners for 19 years. She has seen sloppy LLCs, chaotic sole proprietors, and restaurant owners who kept receipts in a shoebox. She does not impress easily. She sits across from you at a folding table in the back office of your third laundromat. You have just handed her a folder. Inside that folder is a summary of everything you currently own. She reads it slowly. She doesn't say anything for a while. Then she looks up and says, "This is the most deliberately uninteresting portfolio I have ever seen." She means it as a mild criticism. You take it as the highest compliment you've ever received, because that's exactly what you've been building. Not a brand, not a vision, not a company with a mission statement, a logo, and a pitch deck. Just a quiet collection of assets that solve basic, unglamorous human problems and generate cash every single month, whether you're watching or not. Here's what the folder contains: 4 coin laundromats across 2 Midwestern states. Combined, they pull in roughly $290,000 a year in gross revenue. After expenses, utilities, minor repairs, part-time attendance, the net is somewhere around $110,000. Not spectacular, not the kind of number that gets you on a podcast, but it comes in every month like rent, because it essentially is rent. People will always need to wash their clothes. That need does not negotiate with recessions. 2 municipal parking lots you acquired through county tax auctions, the kind held on Tuesday mornings in government buildings where almost nobody else bothers to show up. You paid $31,000 for the first one. The second cost $44,500. Together, they generate just over $58,000 a year in net income after maintenance and insurance. You don't manage them day to day. You hired a part-time operator. You see a deposit hit your account every month, and that is essentially the extent of your involvement. 3 highway billboards on state routes in Tennessee and Kentucky. You don't own the advertising on them. You own the land they sit on. Advertising companies lease that land from you on long-term contracts, anywhere from 5 to 15 years, with built-in annual escalations. Currently, each one pays between $800 and $1,400 a month in ground rent. Some months, you forget you own them entirely. And then there is the commercial cleaning company. You bought it 2 years ago from a retiring owner in his late 60s named Frank, who had built it over 31 years into something that ran mostly on its own momentum. 12 contracted clients, office buildings, a medical clinic, 2 school districts, annual revenue just over $1.1 million. Net margin thin but reliable, the kind of business that loses clients slowly and replaces them slowly and never makes headlines and never will. Karen flips through the folder again. She asks if you're planning to pivot into anything more growth-oriented. A tech play maybe, some multifamily real estate, something with upside. You tell her no. She nods, like she expected that answer and doesn't fully understand it. What she doesn't see, what almost nobody sees, is the logic underneath the boredom. Every asset in that folder has one thing in common. It serves a need that doesn't go away. Not in a downturn, not when interest rates spike, not when some new platform disrupts the way people shop, communicate, or work. People park their cars, people wash their clothes, buildings get dirty every single day, and someone has to clean them. Drivers on a highway see whatever is on that billboard whether they want to or not. There is no app for any of this. There is no disruption coming. There is no competitor who is going to out-innovate a parking lot. And that is the point. The flashy guys, the ones raising venture rounds, chasing multiple expansions, posting about their portfolio on LinkedIn. They're operating in markets where being interesting is the price of admission, where the competition is constant and the attention is always on you, and one bad quarter can unravel 3 years of work. You are not in those markets. You are deliberately, carefully, almost aggressively not in those markets. You are in the Tuesday morning markets, the ones nobody is watching, the ones that just keep running, quiet and steady, long after the interesting thing down the street has closed. Karen closes the folder. She says she'll have the quarterly summary ready by Thursday. You thank her and drive home in your 2019 Honda Pilot with 91,000 miles on it and a crack in the rear bumper you've been meaning to fix for 8 months. You don't fix it. There's a guy at the networking event. You've seen his type before. He's wearing a plain white t-shirt that costs $340, which you know because you looked it up once after someone mentioned the brand. He drives a matte gray Range Rover with a custom wrap. He talks about his portfolio the way some people talk about their personality, loudly, in the direction of whoever might be